about, less double standards, but we're going to the extreme. So we have to slow down a little bit and see what relationships are all about. So not being in a relationship today makes more sense because of the disconnect and the misinterpretation of what a relationship is supposed to be. It's very, very confusing to know that, wait, I'm going to have that big house and the cars and the 2.3 kids or whatever. Does that mean happiness?
Oh, Freda.
What is happiness?
Freda, you are so brilliant. I forget because
Right.
it's been a while. But thank you for laying that out there. Boy, you said everything that's important. All right, let me go to the biggest civilization issue. Never mind country, never mind society. Civilization issue. You quoted what I used to love, the 2.5 kids. What did that mean? That meant some houses had 4, some people had 1, some had 3, but we're like a 2.5 average, so they're popping up all over the place. You must know this. It's a headline over the last several years. America has a 0 birth rate. At this moment, we can't birth enough to keep ahead of the funeral parlor. The funeral parlor, busier than the bassinet business and the newborn wing. And it kills me. I mean, it's the saddest thing you could hear, that subconsciously they could care less about their ultimate future. The kids would have been too much for us. We both had careers. We barely paid the bills. What? So you're going to go 0? And to think our country did it, never mind, the Northeast or this generation, America, as we speak, is, what would be the right, dormant. I try to be nice. Dormant. Not birthing itself. Now, you're a psychology person like, I love you. You think this way. It's screaming self-loathing at me. These people hate themselves. Obviously, they don't just dislike. They hate themselves because the baby idea doesn't move them at all. They never mind just having less. They don't want any. They are okay with no baby's room, no rattles, no TV shows, like Bluey, no first step, no first word, no first giggle, all written off. And they got an American Express black card, and they went to Hawaii, and they've been to Europe, and they drive a Tesla. Now, I don't want to go too hard on them. Everybody's struggling, right? Just trying to be a human. But who could like them? They might hate themselves. Ay. So I don't know. I mean, where are they birthing a lot of children? Everywhere that people are going nuts about. All over South America, all over Central America. They're birthing like crazy. They still love it. Why? I don't know. There's probably a million answers for why. But I have to say, who's having a better life? I think they are in some little hovel in Chile or wherever the hell this is. But look at us. Everything we have, no baby. No baby. And not like, oh, boo-hoo, we should have had them, doggone it. No, it's like, listen, looking back. Really? Okay, so I'm stunned, but I see that as a snapshot of now. I don't know. That's pretty big deal.
Well, we're living in the I movement here, instead of saying we or us. It's about, as you said, it's all about interpretation of yourself. And are you happy? I mean, in my practice, I had women coming in 35. What about me?
Right.
Where's my life? So there's an emptiness there that fulfilling yourself has nothing to do with money.
Right.
Happiness, as they said, has to do with a good relationship, somebody understanding you, enjoying your company, and if you want children, to enjoy that, but not to go ahead and have a formula in your life, because this is what your mother or father wants, and this is what they had, and who knows if they were really happy. They didn't tell you the truth necessarily.
True.
You have to figure this out for yourself.
You got it.
So we have to really Yeah.
And let me add something, right? Because this is what I used to say to people. Don't make it that you have to be happy. How stupid is that? You're setting yourself up. Stop. See how much you can put up with, man. How much can you carry up a staircase? Not where's the elevator? So that's how I used to say that to them. This is ridiculous that you're supposed to be happy. What are you, crazy? What's wrong with you? You got a boss. You got a mortgage. You got a car. There's crime in the street. Come on, man. Get in there and just be contributing, and don't ask, am I good? Am I okay? Is everything all right? Shush. The more you ask, the more your brain is going to work on that, and you're wasting your brain. You're not gonna inside your brain. Oh, this is what I want. Oh, this is what I got. Look at me. I'm all set. What are you? You're not a cartoon. You're not a cartoon. You live in the wild with the other animals, and you live in there with nature and a globe and oceans and mountains. Put yourself as a very unimportant. Then it gets a lot better. But if it has to be, oh my God, my dream always was, did I get it? I didn't get enough of it. You know what I didn't get? You know what I'm missing? You know how much happier? I blame them. I say, you got no discipline. Got to get some discipline in here. Be able to say to yourself, all right. You're not that important. 6,990,000,000 others. Relax. So I don't. You know what I mean? I kind of don't like the whole 30 years of, do you really know yourself so you could find your true happiness? I don't like that. I don't think that was a worthwhile endeavor.
The endeavor is to make a difference and to be contented. Yeah. Happiness is a fleeting moment.
Yes.
You can't hold on to it anyway. And people say they want to be happy because they think they're supposed to be happy. And my mother used to stand at the door when patients would come in. I would tell her, could you please leave? This is private. Just get out. And her little house dress, and I say, Mom, could you just, and her hair standing up or whatever, looking like she needs a lot of help. So please, could you just go? And she'd say, what are they coming to you for? They have a house. They have a place to eat.
Right.
They have heat. What's the problem? What are they complaining about?
Love her.
What are they complaining about?
Yep. And maybe what they need is just a good spanking. Like, put your hands out. Whoa, put your hands out. And you whack it with a plastic ruler. Say, does that sting? Ooh, I bet that stings. Yeah, get some perspective. It's okay for your hands to sting. Yeah, it's okay for you to hurt, and there's no answer. Take it. It's like when you got no umbrella in the rain. You're going to hate it, but you're going to walk home. You're going to be a soaking mess, but you won't stand still and wait for it to stop. You'll keep walking to the subway. So that's how I felt about the whole unhappiness is so overrated. It's not important. You got to take it, put a scab on it. But the scab builds. I believe the unhappiness scab. You'll find a lot of happiness in making others happy. Forget about yourself. Go out all day and make them happy and glean their joy and say to yourself, you know something, look at me. I instigated a smile here instead of who made me smile. I made them smile all day. Now, enough. You deserve to be angry. If that's the way you look at it, nobody came and made you smile. Nothing went your way, and now you're upset. Hey, if you wait, you're sleeping, you're healthy, and I can hear your voice, you're way ahead. So, I don't know. That's going to sound rough for a lot of people. Oh, Ed Tyll sounds like that.
You're right. I mean, what about the blackouts that we have? No power, no water, no heat, no air conditioning. You get that back. That'll make you feel better. We're so conditioned to have everything. We don't really know what it's like not to have it. I remember we had a blackout here. I was so happy there was a McDonald's open. Mm-hmm. To me, it's like I found gold, a place to have some coffee or something to eat or whatever it was. So I'm just saying to you that we live in this place of enrichment that we don't realize that it doesn't have to be coming to us, that there are countries where they're dying, literally, immigration to come in here and to have comfort without being killed off with the enemy or diseases or whatever it was. It reminds me of a story that my father told me that there was this house that this man complained it was too small. So somebody had them bring in the cattle and more people and just crowding the house. And after a while, they took everything out of the house. And then he says, wait a minute, the house looks so much bigger now. It's not too small. So we have to be able to live under certain conditions and see what the difference could be, that it could really be work. And, we're talking about relationships. It's really the same thing. We have to be able to know that we need to work on stuff. We can't just say it's over. And today, people living together, there's no formal agreement. It's so easy to do it. So if you don't have the right person, you don't have to be with someone because it looks good. It's not a status symbol like getting a new car or buying the house. Nobody really cares. Everybody goes into their own place and forgets about you, and they have their own issues. We have to stop doing things to make ourselves look good. And like you said in the beginning of the segment, to be honest, to be authentic, to have a show where you can really just talk instead of being on TV for 3 minutes and being told you ran over a half a minute. We're sorry, it's too long.
Right.
Living a superficial life is something that we become a lot like robots, and that's pretty scary in itself.
You're so right. I think technology, it's fantastic, and I love it, but it can give a wrong impression to people. And it might suggest to them, if you have enough devices and you got enough of this and that, then you alone are all you need. You got your paycheck, you go to your office, or you do your work, you turn it in, and it's approved of, okay, paycheck is solid. Now, if I have another group of devices, the Nest is running my house, right? You got the Google Nest. It does the thermometer, thermostat, turns the fridge and all that to the right temperatures. Okay, then I got the car. Okay, I got the Tesla. I can program it into my phone. The car pick. So that is all disengagement. And I think it's a false impression. It makes it look like, well, as long as I got the phone, the tablet, the internet, and this and that, I got everything covered. And of course you don't. Of course the world is not this virtual, what fits on a screen. But we're getting that, right? We're sending a subliminal message that if you do these things, you'll be okay. And if you don't know it, the Google will tell it to you. And if you can't find it, the GPS will find it for you. It's a false impression, I think. But nonetheless, I think people would love to believe the delusion. Oh, yeah, I'll just get an iPhone, an iPad, a Tesla car, a thing for... But no, you won't. Oh, I'll put the things on the roof, and I won't need the power company anymore. Easy. Those things can come flying off in a storm. All of a sudden, you got nothing, and the power company's hooking you back up to the original. So that's how it's feeling to me now after all this life experience, right? I remember having different views. Yeah, I had much different views in my 20s and 30s than I do now. Yeah.
Well, society gave us this message that the more you have, the more contented, I hate to use the word happy, that you'll be. But we're finding out walking in nature, which costs no money, having a good relationship, which should cost no money, depending on who you're with,
right.
Can really, right? So that can really make the difference to your sense of well-being, having time, forgetting about making enough so you can fly to some exotic place, but once a year, but having time to just spend in your backyard or wherever you're living to be able to feel carefree and relaxed. I remember my son told me once, when I retire, I'd like to paint and have a backyard with a lake in the back and just sit and paint all day, on an easel, not paint the walls. But I said to him, why wait till you retire? Our concept of what our life is supposed to be like from our 20s into our 60s, rush, that's very sad. We don't even live long enough to have such a small amount of such a window of time to enjoy ourselves. So we should really integrate our future and what we're doing into what feels good, what gives us satisfaction across the board. We're too much, and it's getting worse actually with this technology. We're moving even faster. We feel even more tension. There's more medication that doesn't work out there for people who feel anxiety that they have to go somewhere in their lives. And it infects them in every single area with what they're doing. Somebody like you're unusual. How many people do we know that are, really, I'm not kidding, how many people do we know that are carefree, spirited, a high energy, a lust for life? You don't see it too often. Doesn't matter what caliber, what class they're in. It doesn't really matter. People, if you see people today, they feel as if, inflation took a part in it, of course. Hopefully the taxes going down, that's going to help. But, the interest going down, that's going to help. But that's something we need, people that are going to see the reality of what we need in our lives and what it's all about. And with you, and our time is almost up. It's almost been an hour. It looks like to me it feels like a few minutes.
Wow. Okay. That went fast.
I'm telling you, Ed, you can talk forever. See, you're right. And you're still running. You're still going to keep running. But, yes, next time another topic, another show. I'd love to be on your show. You can come on my show. We can pick immigration. Last time I spoke to you was about immigration.
Right.
And I was shocked by the things you said. 'Cause I didn't really...
All right, well, we'll save that. We will go back in on that. I love exchanging ideas.
I said to you, Are you crazy? I said, are you out of your mind? And you said yes. And you loved it. And you said, go on. I said, this guy is out of his mind.
He's nuts, this guy.
So, yeah, that was fun, too.
Let me,
nuts,
before we finish,
Yeah.
You used the word beautifully several times. And I think it's a great point. We should emphasize your thought. Carefree. It was the greatest feeling as a kid, summer vacation from school. The first day, you didn't have your school clothes on. You didn't have books. You just could go out and play with your friends, and you almost didn't know what to do. Should I go to the playground, hit the swings? Should I play stickball? What do I call for my friend and watch TV? It was so carefree because it was child world, and now you're going to remember.
Don't have that today.
It's so long gone. But here's the thing: you remember Carefree Gum?
Yeah.
Carefree Gum, and the Tea-Berry Shuffle. Da-da-da-da-da-da. The guy would take one stick of gum, and then he would dance because the gum made him so carefree. This was an ad of our childhood. Carefree was a real thing. So thank you for saying the two syllables. They're great.
You're so right. And today, by the way, God forbid you have any free time as a child. You're going to be hustled to some after-school activity. You're going to have to go to camp. You're going to have to get together with your friends whether you want to or not. Parents are afraid that kids don't have time that is not constructive in some way. And you're right. We need to have time where we do nothing or play or use our imagination or relax, whatever that is.
That's what's impossible, right? You got to get unbusy. Then you got to do nothing for a minute or two. Then your mind starts to give you great ideas. But if you don't slow down, it's not your brain's fault.
That's
It's
right.
managing everything you're making it do. Make it do nothing and listen to it. Oh, my God. I can't believe that this was an hour. You are fantastic. I love being with you,
what do you
Frida.
mean? I love you. You're wonderful, Ed. You're wonderful. You have so much to say. I'm afraid to say anything now because we can go on again. Because every time you say something, I think about something else and where we're going. And, everything you're saying, and even the fun part and the funny part, guess what? It's been researched that people who have downtime, adults, who take breaks are much more creative afterwards. And schools in Finland and in those other, wherever it is, they have off at 2:00. The parents get together with the kids, and all they do is play and have downtime. No homework, no after-school activities, nothing, and they score higher in their tests than anyone else. So everything you're saying, by the way, has been found out to be true. So I love you, Ed. You're the best. It's just a pleasure to have this award-winning speaker of my show. Thank you so much.
Love you, Frida. Thank you for having me. We'll talk again soon.
My pleasure.
Bye-bye.
We will talk again. Bye-bye.